Alright, so now that we have our sales staff entered, their salary information entered, we have some hours, obviously not a full work week's worth of hours, but we have some hours entered in, which give us some totals over here that we can use. We're going to go back and we're going to look at some of the metrics that we can use to help assess how we're doing as a store. We have our hours recorded in here, and then that tells us, based on pay rate per hour, how much we are budgeting or allocating toward payroll per week. So this is per person, and then this big number up here is how much we are budgeting for weekly in payroll. This number over here is the number that tells us which week of the schedule we are referencing from the scheduler. So if you look over here in the schedule, I have named all of my tabs the first day of that week. And you have to be pretty careful about this. When you duplicate a tab, I have seen that some people will try and rename this by going right here. Notice where my cursor is exactly. It's right at the end of. So there's a space between of and 1-19. If I start it right there at of and I backspace, I'm like, alright, all I have left in there is 119. I actually still have that space in there. And then I go and I change it to 126, leaving the space in the beginning of the tab and hitting enter. It looks just like the other cells, or the other tabs. But when I go up here to Payroll Scheduler and I try and reference 126, I have an issue, a reference issue. And the problem is that it's trying to find a tab that's named 126, when really we only have a tab named space 126. So if that happens, you can either guess where the space is on here and say, oh, it's actually space 126. Hit enter, and it will reference the tab correctly. Or if you want to be able to reference that tab in the future and not have to deal with that hassle, you can go back here and you can change it here to make sure that there is no space in there. And now, if I enter 126, let's enter 9 for a second. 119 was one of them, 126. It's a little bit of a glitch. It should work. It will work. I promise it will work. For this purpose, we're going to go back to 119 for now. Oh, no, there we go. It fixed itself eventually. So we'll use 126 as our thing here. These green cells here, okay? So anything that's green we can enter, anything that's pink we don't want to touch, right? These green cells are for entering our kind of what we expect our sales staff to earn per hour on the sales floor and our service staff to earn in labor per hour. In the summer, these might be 330 and 500, and if we look back at the scheduler, what they influence is this number here. Okay, so I've said that I want Travis to earn $350 an hour during the week and $500 an hour on the weekends. Based on the hours he's working during the week and during the weekend, his sales goal for the week is to sell $6,930. Okay, if it's the winter and I change this to 250 and 350, and I look over here and I give it a minute to refresh, this number is going to be lower. maybe somewhere in the 5,000s. Let's refresh the page. See what happens. Still working, see? Updating. It will update, I promise. Sometimes these changes can just take a minute as they link from one to the other. We'll come back to it. You'll see, it'll change. So those numbers will be changed by the schedule. So so after that, we can also do some assessments for store-wide goals. Like for example, if we have the goal for the entire store is 120,000, and we know that the labor goal is 8,000. The sales goal is roughly $112,000. Okay. This number, these pink numbers here, are the numbers that we are staffed for. So basically, what this number does is it takes the total numbers of hours worked. It considers how much should be earned per hour per salesperson, and it adds it all up here. Okay, so if you looked back at these goals basically and added them up for your entire sales staff, it would give you this $14,625. Okay, what that tells us is we do not have enough staff to meet our goal on the sales floor. Okay, means we need to put more people on for more hours, which makes sense because we are woefully understaffed right now on here. And so this number will get smaller and smaller as we add hours. Eventually, it may become green, and it'll actually say that we are over on hours, or we have more than enough hours. So the goal here is to make this number here 0 to get our sales goal to match our actual. And then we'll know we have staffed enough people on the floor during the week to meet that sales goal. These numbers over here, so this tells us, sorry, back to the store goals here. This tells us in dollars how much we might be short, and then this tells us in hours how much we might be short. So if we're considering this during the winter, it accounts for the fact that we work a couple hours less per week. It tells us how many more hours of work we need to hire across the sales staff, and then this one does it in summer. These numbers are just to help inform these numbers, so don't worry about what these say. These are the ones that are going to be helpful for us. So if I'm doing this and this is my actual number here, I say, whoa, I'm way short on earning my I'm way short for the store in earning toward our actual goal. How much more staff do I need to put on the floor? I need to staff another 357 hours in the winter worth of people. So this number is going to help us to actually add extra people to the schedule for the correct number of hours. And that is the basics of how to use this piece over here effectively with your scheduler.